Yes, ma'am. No, he's here. Just joined.
Good evening to all of you.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
So, shall we start?
Yes, sir.
Today, in continuation of in-house training, we have Mrs. Datta, PGT Biology. She is going to discuss about understanding adolescent. Adolescent age is judging start from 10 onwards, 10 to 19. It is a very crucial age. It is considered for parents also, for teachers also, for students also. So, in the school context, this is a very important area. So, this area is covered by Mr. Datta, the biology teacher, who knows better than adolescent. So, wish you all the best, Ms. Deji madam, and let us start. Please.
Thank you, sir. Good evening to one and all. Respected Principal Sir, Vice Principal Ma'am, Headmistress Ma'am, and all my colleagues. I welcome you all to this session of in-house training. As we all are adolescents every day in the classroom, and many of us are also the parents of adolescents. Therefore, I selected this topic of understanding adolescents to deal with them more effectively and understand their problems. Adolescent is a stage when the child is neither young nor old. If he starts playing with his toys and his games of his childhood, we tell him, stop doing that, stop playing like this. You're not a small kid. तुम क्या छोटे बच्चे हो जो ऐसे खेल रहे हो? छोड़ दो वो सब games. Come, go and sit and study. Our main aim is that he should just sit in his room and study. If he starts participating in some discussions with us, sometimes regarding politics or sometimes regarding he wants to tell us how to invest money and make more profit, we again scold him. इतने बड़े नहीं हो गए तुम, जाओ अपने रूम में बैठो, go and study yourself. So this stage, the child feels very confused. He doesn't know exactly what he should behave, what is expected out of him, what do the parents and teachers want, what should his ideal behavior be. And so we must understand the problems of these adolescents. comes from a Latin word which is adolescere, means to grow, to mature, that is, achieve an identity. The World Health Organization defines adolescents between the age group of 10 to 19 years. Adolescence is a transitional stage from childhood to adulthood. Adolescence is also characterized by certain degree of increased turmoil, anxiety, stress due to the changes that they experience. Every teacher and parent must know about the nature and the changes that emerge in this transition period. We must also know about the various problems that come with the developmental characters to deal effectively with the problems of the adolescents. Adolescents have it so that they can have proper educational, vocational, and guidance that can be given to them. Adolescence has been divided into three stages. That is, early stage between 9 to 13 years, mid stage between 14 to 15 years, and late stages 16 to 19 years. Here is a comparative analysis of these three stages. In the early stage, generally the sexual sex characters start developing and there is a very rapid growth. They have concrete, operational, conventional morality. Whereas in the middle stage of adolescence, the growth rate is at the peak. The body shape, the composition of the body changes. They generally have acne over their face, sometimes pimples also, and that is a major cause of their concern. They also have body odor, menarche and sperma starts at this stage. The emergence of abstract thought and self-centeredness is one major phenomena of this middle adolescent stage. The late adolescent stage, they show very slow growth, consolidation of sexual identity, idealism, and absolutism. Now, what is adolescence? Adolescence is a period of hormonal adjustment. Many hormones start developing at this phase. The somatostatin hormone that is responsible for the growth of the children, that is at its peak at this phase, and many other androgen hormones also develop, which are responsible to have maturity and in their body. In this period, there is immense stress and strain. They are having to face the stress of their examinations, the stress of preparations. They are also having strain in their life. It is also a fascinating period. This is a time when they start getting attracted towards people of opposite sex. They have feelings of infatuation and love sometimes. And this is the time when they are driven to have more activities, socializations, etc. It is a period of discovering. They want to discover more, particularly self discovery. It is also a period of living out, want to just have fun, period of exploring. They want to move around towns and places. Many times they also love to bunk classes. They want to miss their classes and go and have fun sometimes, to go for picnics and outings. That is also a part of their life. They want to enjoy that. Next is, what are the changes that occur in adolescence? The first change which most of them experience is cognitive development. They undergo cognitive development. They move from concrete thinking to abstract thoughts, ideas, perceptions, concepts. The concepts are very abstract in their mind. They don't have any exact idea about the world around them. Egocentricity and self esteem is a hallmark of the adolescence. they may have an idea that everybody is just looking at them. They are so good looking, everyone is watching them, and they tend to draw attention by their particular behavior. When we go to the classroom, also, we see many of them they are behaving in a very odd manner. They just want to draw their attention. They want to know, they want us to see them, and they want us to be more interactive with them. Or somewhere or the other, they want to draw our attention. At this phase, they become a little away from the family. They don't want to be very mingling with the family because for them, peers who are their friends, they are highly important. The society is also very important. What others are thinking about them, what others are making concepts about them, that is more important for them. They also undergo the biological development, that is, the height, weight, increase of their body is taking place at this time. Here is self esteem. Here they start comparing with their peers. They have to compare in all aspects. They will see that my friend is more taller, I have become short, and sometimes they say that maybe the friend is more fair and darker. Maybe at this stage, यशोमती मैया जी से भी नंदलाला ने पूछा था कि राधा क्यों गोरी मैं क्यों काला। तो राधा क्यों गोरी है उसका आंसर अच्छे से यशोमती मैया ने दे दिया था। वैसे ही हम लोगों से भी बहुत टाइम बच्चों ने ऐसे क्वेश्चन किए होंगे एंड मेनी टाइम्स हम लोग भी खुद क्वेश्चन किए होंगे फ्रॉम आवर पेरेंट्स। Maybe our looks we are not very satisfied. We feel our looks are not as good as our friends' looks. Sometimes we start using creams and other ointments to improve our complexion. So, if in that case, if it is not so, we develop a feeling of inferiority. And this feeling of inferiority interferes with our day to day functioning and also the studies and our performance. Their performance also decreases in the classroom. Problems in relationship with peer and family, they start becoming jealous of their friends. They start becoming more argumentative, and other negative expressions may develop at this phase of life. Here is the world of adolescence. This is the world shown in the form of concentric circles. The closest circle is occupied by the peer, by the school, and the family. These are the people whom they are actually trying to impress always. Their peers, they have major role in their life. According to Erik Erikson's theory, an individual has a growing sense of independence and shaping personal identity during these years of life. It is shaped by the social interaction one has with others, with his family, and most importantly, his peers. Their dressing sense, hairstyle, conduct, sense of fashion are all largely influenced by their peers. अगर पेयर ने रिबॉक से जूता खरीदा है तो वो लोग भी रिबॉक ही जाएंगे। दे विल नॉट गो टू एनी अदर शॉप। दे डोंट वांट। रिबॉक इज द बेस्ट शॉप। रिबॉक में ही सबसे अच्छे जूते मिलते हैं और कहीं तो मिलते ही नहीं हैं। दे विल जस्ट ऑलवेज वांट that whatever the friend is wearing, whatever the style he is following, whatever the hairstyle, they also exactly want to copy that. They are largely influenced. Sometimes this influence may motivate them to improve their performance, or it may have a negative impact. Therefore, as a teacher, we must help them to understand the wrong and the right peer influence in their lives. Now, this is an optical illusion. These are horizontal lines which are parallel. But then, why are they not appearing parallel in this picture? This is exactly the life of an adolescent. The straight line, the straight path, which we can see so clear in our lives, for them it is zigzag and haphazard and full of hurdles. Adolescents are passing through the most turbulent phase of their life, They are facing many challenges, emotional concerns, stress, and strain. So, as teachers and parents of the adolescents, we must listen to them very attentively, whatever stories they are narrating to us, whatever they want to tell us. We must have a patient hearing to them because they want to let out their emotions to us. Then we have to be empathetic in our approach. We have to put ourselves in their shoes and then we will understand what they are trying to explain to us. We have to admire them if they are showing something good, if they are showing good conduct and good behavior and good performance. We must appreciate them and also show our concern if they are having some problems and reach to a mutual understanding. These are the areas of development during adolescence. But before discussing the areas of development, I would like to share a very small video which is discussing about all the developmental stages. So let us watch the video now.
Mind matters in minutes. The art of growing up. Let's get one thing straight. We're all human. One thing we all have in common, we all go through the human lifetime, which goes from infancy to childhood to adolescence to adulthood, old age, and to death. Compared to other species, humans are weird. We spend a long time in infancy and childhood, much longer than other adults. Why? Because of this, our gargantuan brain. It takes about a quarter of a century for our brains to fully develop, which is crazy. To make things even stranger, for about the first 10 years of our lives, our brain is growing, while our bodies just hang back and chill, not doing all that much, until suddenly our bodies freak out and decide to grow up all at once. And then it's our brains that need to play catch up. This weird growth phase is called adolescence. It usually lasts for about 4 or 5 years, and for many of us, it can be a pretty intense experience. Here's what's going on. On the physical side, you're building up your adult body, which includes obvious changes in size, shape, texture, and smell. But you're also changing internally as you develop the power of sexual reproduction. All the hormones driving this physical development can have a big impact on your mental state. Specifically, they can give you a craving for intense experiences, which could be anything from horror movies to romantic relationships to extreme sports. On the social front, the move to an adult body triggers a whole wave of changes in your relationships and identity. Super important. You begin to look for adult role models outside of your family, and you begin to think about who you are and what you want to do with your life. Finally, while your body might have decided to grow up right now, all at once, your brain still isn't done. In fact, one of the most important areas of your brain is still under development, well beyond adolescence, even into your 20s. The prefrontal cortex is the part of your brain that helps you manage your own behaviour and plan for the future. The fact that this region is still developing explains a lot about why many adolescents live in the moment, act impulsively, and take risks. This can be a good thing when it helps you to dream big, take on crazy challenges, and go on great adventures. Not so good when those adventures fall over because of poor decisions and no planning. For some people, all these changes make adolescence awesome and fun. For others, it's scary and difficult. While for most of us, it's a mixture of both. We're all different. But the fact is that adolescence is a time of enormous change, and we humans are the only species to really undergo it. So we've got to stick together and help each other out. If you're ever overwhelmed by your day-to-day experiences, don't go it alone. Talk to school staff, friends, or family. You might be surprised how readily people want to help you. So how are you going at the moment? Do you see any of these features of adolescence affecting your life? In what way? Is there anything you want to talk to someone about?
So these were the crazy challenges they like to take and risk their lives and also have a risk-taking behavior. So now coming back to the developmental areas, The first one is physical development in adolescents. The adolescents are increasing in their height, in their shape. They are undergoing many changes. They are leading to puberty. In boys, they are developing facial hair. They also have hoarseness in their voice due to the development of Adam's apple in their throat. The girls, on the other hand, they have development of mammary glands. Their pelvic girdle starts becoming broadening up, and all these changes may sometimes be different at a different time. Some students may have it beforehand, some will have it a little later, but this also becomes a cause of concern in their lives. We as adults, we have to help them out and tell them it is just a natural process for everybody. It will take place sooner or later. Everybody will develop these characters. All the boys will have a change in their voice. Maybe the others have started making fun of them if they have started having it before them. So we as adults, we will help them out and tell them it is just a normal process. The next area of development is cognitive and emotional development. With the physical changes, adolescents' capacity of emotional awareness also increases. Healthy emotional development is marked by gradual increasing ability by perceiving the stimulus, assessing and manage the emotions. This is a biological process driven by physical and cognitive changes and heavily influenced by the context and the environment. The process of emotional development gives adolescents the opportunity to build skills, discover unique qualities, and develop strength for optimal health. They also become very argumentative and demonstrative, and there is an intense need to be right. They will never lose an argument. They will always want to win the argument if they are having any argument over any issue. They show intense focus on the new interest. They want to go flying or swimming or some new interest, but they lack discipline for it. The next slide shows us the structure of a brain and the development of adolescent brain. The brain is like a double-story building where the ground floor is completely formed, but the first floor is still under construction. In the ground floor lies a very important part of the brain called amygdala, which is the seat of emotions such as love, hate, anger, excitement, sadness, depression, etc. This region develops very quickly before the top floor. The top floor is occupied by the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for thought, perception, and emotional control. So the adolescent has got no control over his emotions. He is rather overactive in his emotions, and he often is very impulsive in his behavior. He is very fidgety. He doesn't know what exactly he has to do, and he is very fickle-minded. One moment he'll say yes, yes, he wants to do this work. He's very excited about doing it. The very next moment he will say no, he's not interested at all. So he is very fickle-minded and, of course, very humiliating as well. Therefore, their emotions are very much more than the emotions of the adult. One example I would like to give. One boy of my class 2 years back, his name is Amit. One day he came with his hand fractured and it was having a plaster on the hand. I asked him, what has happened to your hand? What is wrong with it? He said, ma'am, kuch nahi hua, chot lagi. But after a little bit of coaxing, he told me that because his father scolded him, he wanted to study. But then father was studying. Therefore, he banged his hand on the wall and that developed his fracture. So that hard are the emotions in them that they cannot control. Therefore, we adults, many a time in class also, we think twice before punishing them or before giving them before saying anything harsh to them, we have to think twice because we never know that their emotions are so strong that sometimes they may harm themselves. So therefore, we have to be careful with this age students. I'd like to share a small video showing the development of the brain of adolescents.
We used to think the shape of the firing systems tapered off after early childhood. But neuroscience tells us the brain goes through another rapid phase of change from age 9 to 14, a second window of opportunity. Early adolescence is a crucial period for brain development, where many challenges begin to emerge. It is also a time of opportunity when rapid changes can be harnessed to set adolescents on a positive path. Puberty initiates intense hormonal changes. The brain is forming better and faster connections between systems, improving the ability to make decisions, solve problems, understand consequences, and to gain more control over emotions and behavior. At the same time, the adolescent brain goes through a period of greater sensitivity to social evaluation and emotional reactions. Increased sensation seeking, interest in social relationships, and exploration of identity all begin to emerge. Early adolescence brings on broadening experiences, acquisition of new skills, formation of social networks that will have lasting impacts for the rest of a young person's life. To learn more, download.
Next field of development is psychosocial development. The adolescent is no longer a child. He is a new person emerging into an adult. This process of understanding self leads to identity formation. This journey of self discovery is both stressful and anxiety provoking for them. The formation of personal identity and integration with the society gives rise to the conflicts with the elders, with the teachers, and with their society members. So, here is a comparative analysis between teenagers and adults. With parents, the teenagers are very rebellious. They don't want to follow any rules which are set up by the parents. They don't like to obey them. They want to have their own perceptions. They want their own feelings. They want to show that. Whereas an adult has, of course, accepted what the parents tell them. The puberty changes takes place in the teenagers and they are highly concerned about it. For them, it is very important to look like their friends, to have the rest of the body. They may start going to gym for that, for forming more muscles. The girls, on the other hand, they may start dieting. They want to have a perfect body shape. Whereas the adult has already accepted whatever the shape and figure he has. With friends and peers, for teenager, all are very important. He wants to be friendly with each and every person, whomever he meets. Whereas adult is very selective. He knows who he has to be friendly with. The behavior of a teenager is risk taking, always wanting to go for maybe rafting or bungee jumping. They want to take all that fun. Whereas an adult, he knows the limit, he knows his self limit, and the attitude is highly moralistic in a teenager. He always feels he has some ideal and he wants to follow that ideal. He wants to live the life of that ideal. He just wants to be like his ideal, whomever he considers so. An adult is very much realistic. He knows the world around him. He knows what exactly he is. So these are the differences between the teenage and the adult. There are some social developments also. The adolescents wants to grow up and to be free of parental restraint and restraint. They don't want any bindings which are set up by the parents. If he says he wants to go out, everybody should allow him. Do not ever say no to him because he doesn't want to hear a no from elders. They are very fearful because if we give them some responsibility that okay, if you're going out, do this also for us, that linking the responsibility with the independence, that they don't accept at all. Acceptance by their peers and a very few close friends is very important for them. And of course, if there is a secured love of a supportive family, which is a requisite for the teenagers, This will help it in the interpersonal maturation. Now, we will talk about the problems that are faced by adolescents. Adolescents come across many problems in their lives. The first problem that they face is mental health problems. From neurobiological perspective, adolescence can be viewed as work in progress, where still construction is going on. With academics, emotional challenges, exploring and experimentation with the social identities, on one hand, it is a phase of tremendous growth, pressure, and challenges, and on the other hand, it is a transitional phase between childhood and adulthood. There is an increased risk for various psychological disorders and adjustment problems with them. It is estimated that 10 to 20% of the adolescents experience mental health conditions that remain undiagnosed and untreated. Many a times when we go to the classes, sometimes we come back and say that this particular boy or a girl of the class was not at all behaving normal. Maybe she has some problems with her mental health. Maybe she's not properly guided at home. Maybe she is insane. Many a times we come to the staff room and we discuss that this boy or this girl is behaving very insane in the class. She needs some help. But there is lack of knowledge or awareness of the mental health in our society, and also there is a stigma that prevents them from seeking help. No one wants to go and see a psychiatrist. They will say हम पागल थोड़ी हैं जो psychiatrist के पास चले जाएं. But of course, there are many diseases that they may suffer from. For example, behavior disorders, emotional problems, stress and anxiety, depression, scholastic issues, substance usage, psychiatric disorders, and the major problem that they have is atypical depression, dysthymia, seasonal affective disorders, and also premenstrual dystrophic disorders. So, mental health is a main cause of concern. We must always be looking very carefully in the classroom also. If there is any such child, we must guide the parents to go and see the psychiatrist. It will definitely help the child for better performance and better result. Next are nutritional problems. They experience a drastic physical change, and if they receive positive comments, it will boost their confidence. But those who get negative comments about their body, they develop very self-esteem and low self-confidence. So as a result, they start sometimes overeating. If they want to become fat, they will want to eat more. If they want to have a more body and full of muscles, they start overeating. Or sometimes they start dieting. On an average, a male is expected to take 2400 calories per day, and a girl must require 2100 calories per day. The nutrition and exercise. A recent study has found that 80% of the male and 92% of the female have a higher BMI, that is body metabolic index, and they tend to become obese as adults. Many of the today's adolescents virtually live on fast food meals, which contribute to a very high level of fat in their diet. They often want to have only pizzas, burgers, chow mein, etc. They do not know the importance of a balanced diet. A balanced diet must include 6 major components of nutrients in their food. They are carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals, and of course, they must drink a lot of water. But our adolescents, they do not appreciate any such food in their diet. They don't want any kind of vegetables. They are virtually living only on the fast food. Therefore, they suffer from many dietary diseases. Nowadays, the individuals have become very less active also. They don't want to move. They don't want to just have any exercise or they don't want to do any walking. They just want to sit at one place. They just want to watch TV and computers for long hours. The lower level of physical fitness is always seen in adolescents. So they suffer from these diseases. Number one, undernutrition. Many of them, because they are not getting proper nutrients in their diet, they are showing undernutrition. They are malnutrited and they are showing diseases like kwashiorkor, etc. And many of them are showing obesity. They are so fat that they're just sitting at one place. The body is not moving at all. Obesity, along with it, brings many other forms of diseases. So they are not healthy at all. Some of them have eating disorders also. There are two major eating disorders. One is anorexia. Anorexia is a problem faced by some students, some children. They don't want to eat anything. Their eating is very less. How much ever the mothers are coaxing and running behind them, but they wouldn't eat. That leads to disordered. And on the other hand, the other disease is bulimia. Bulimia is something where they want to keep on eating. How much ever we try to hide away the things, eatables, we don't want to show them that we have it at home. But they will search it and they will keep on eating it. So these two disorders are very common nowadays, and micronutrient deficiencies also take place. There are so many nutrients required by our body in small quantities. They are called micronutrients like iron, iodine, calcium, phosphorus. So if they don't eat it in proper amount, they suffer from these deficiency disorders. For example, iron deficiency will cause anemia, where they will become very weak, they will lack energy, they will not be able to do heavy exercises and all. Similarly, if they don't take proper amount of iodine in their diet, they will suffer from goiter. So therefore, we must emphasize on a balanced diet. We have to tell them the importance of balanced diet. Of course, first chapter in most of the classes in biology in 10th also is nutrition, where we explain them about healthy diet and proper nutrition. The next topic is bullying. Bullying is a very common problem faced by adolescents. Bullying is a part of his life. Bullying is an unwanted, aggressive behavior among the children. Children who bully usually have a different risk factor, such as they are very aggressive, they are very easily angered and annoyed, they have very less parental involvement. There is some come from families which don't have proper guidance of the parents, so they tend to bully the others. The children who are, on the other hand, being bullied are usually seen at they are different in some way or the other, maybe in their physical appearance, or they don't make friends very easily, or maybe they are weak and they can't defend themselves. Both those who bully and those who are bullied are at the risk of psychological problems. Bullying during adolescent years can be prevalent and have a huge impact, especially during the time with their teens when they are trying to form their own identity and learn how to form peer relationships. There are four types of bullying. One, physical bullying, which is dominated by kicking, punching, and other physically harmful activities designed to instill fear or coax the victim to do something. Often in the break time, we see this that students start fighting with each other, beating each other. So they capture hold of some weak person and they show their power and strength on him. So that is a form of bullying. Similarly, verbal bullying, that is by using demeaning language to tear down another's self-image, teasing, belittling, and using sarcasm to hurt the other person's feeling or humiliate them in front of the others. Similarly, there is emotional bullying, which is often very subtle, that is aimed at getting someone else to feel isolated, alone, and depressed. Nowadays, cyberbullying and electronic bullying has also become very common because they are using instant messaging, WhatsApp messaging, online social network, etc., to humiliate and embarrass the others. The victim of bullying increases the risk of adverse outcome, including physical health problems, behavioral problems, and emotional problems. Depressions also may result due to bullying, and students will show poor school achievement and poor performance in their class. So we as teachers, we must always try to stop this social problem and we must try to put an end to it. Now the next problem that all of them are facing, many of them are facing, is drug abuse. Adolescents often start experimenting with drugs for several reasons. Maybe they just want to be a part of the group who is enjoying it, or just because others are doing it and they fear if they will not do, others will not accept them in their friend circle, and their peers who are using the drugs, they may not like it. So, to be a part of this group who is enjoying the drugs, they also start using drugs. And once they start, they become dependent on it. And gradually and slowly, they are addicted to it. These are the warning signals which we should look even in the classroom so that we can identify those who are undergoing drug abuse and spot them and teach them what are the harmful effects of the drugs. So the warning signals are sudden fall in the academic performance. Maybe we often say this child was very good last year, he used to be a rank holder, but this year we don't know what has stepped wrong with him. He has started becoming, he's getting low scores and he's not paying attention in the class at all. So this is the first sign that we should all look into the classroom also. There is a noticeable change in the attitude and interest, and as well as in the behavior. He doesn't seem to be interested anymore in the surroundings. He doesn't want to listen to us also. His behavior also has changed. He is isolated from the others. He has separated himself. He is isolated now from the others. He wants to be lonely. He wants to stay alone and frequently altering moods. His moods are very much altering within minutes. Sometimes he is depression he is showing, and sometimes he is showing elation. Sometimes he is very sad. On the other hand, sometimes he is very happy. So easy fatigability, he is becoming tired so soon. Lack of enthusiasm, he is not showing any enthusiasm. If the class is going for a picnic, he will rather say, I'm not coming with you, I'm not coming with you all. Marked incapacity for enjoyment. See. So these are the warning signals that we should immediately notice and help them to stay away from drugs. We have to teach them to say no, speak up, tell there are harmful effects. Tell your friends also about the harmful effects and say no. If I said no, even can you? That is what we have to teach to our adolescents. When we are talking about addiction, I would like to mention about another addiction which our adolescents are facing nowadays, and that is internet addiction and mobile addiction. These students, they just don't want to part with their mobile phone. They are so possessive about the phone that they will not even let the elders see their phone. So we must, of course, give them time to see the phone, but there has to be a limit for it. We must tell them that only for 1 hour you can sit with your phone. The rest of the time you have to be seen with the books. So we must be alert that each and every time he's not with his phone and he's not using internet always. So that is the major form of addiction in today's life of the adolescent. Another problem they have is high risk behavior. This is the most vulnerable stage where They are prone to falling prey to bullies, risk-taking behavior such as substance abuse, the confusions such as hormonal changes within the body will also lead them to experience various emotions. In contrast to positive emotions such as anxiety, fear of such as success, achievement, enthusiasm, they experience many negative emotions also, such as anxiety, fear of failure, embarrassment, frustrations, etc. They are also under a constant pressure to meet the expectations of the teachers and of the parents. They are troubled, confused, and sometimes feel guilty, and also have social and family maladjustments. They try to tend now to be in their own cocoon. They have produced a shell around them. They don't want to mix up with their family. They don't want to mix up with the members of the society. And so we have to help them out. We have to tell them about the importance of mixing up, importance of having good relationship with others. This slide tells us about the role of teachers. The role of teachers is undoubtedly the most important in the student's life. It is the teacher who builds their character, shapes their personality, and instills confidence in them for future. As a teacher, we all have a responsibility to observe what are the changes that the students are showing in our class. These changes could be springing up due to a result of bullying or mocking, and the suffering is often reflected in their performance. He may start withdrawing himself from the rest of the class and does not even initiate any social interactions or friendships. Therefore, as a teacher, we all need to take account of these issues and be observant in our classroom. These are the points that we must lay our stress on. Number one, awareness about ill effects of drug. We have to teach them about how the drug can be harmful to them, how taking drugs will affect their lives for future. Many of them start smoking at a very young age. They feel that if they do so, they will look like a man, they will look so macho. So they start smoking. But we as teachers, we have to explain to them how it can affect the lungs and cause diseases. Then we also have to explain to them how antisocial behavior will affect their life. They may even be punished for it. So do not ever indulge in antisocial behavior. Sometimes we see boys carrying big belts in their bags. Even recently, a teacher had caught a huge belt in the bag of a student of class 9. So this was just to have a fight with his friends, just to show his power or something maybe. So we have to explain to them that this will lead you in problem. Therefore, do not do any such social behavior. And eve teasing also is totally a punishable act. You have to explain to them about the ill effects of all these problems. Second, we have to impart moral education to them, which of course in our school we are doing, so that they know the difference between the right and the wrong. They know exactly how they have to behave with their elders, what is the behavior which will be accepted by the others. So moral education should be a very important part of the education. Then next is awareness about the benefits of compassion, empathy, and social service. They should be taught to do a little bit of social service also. They should be taught to do some help, helping the elder people or helping the society in some way or the other. And then immediate feedback for doing good. Awards and certificates of appreciation should be given to them. If they are doing something good, if they are performing good, we have to appreciate them. We have to give them certificates of merit, which we always do in our school. And for the surplus energy that they have, or the adolescents, they carry with them an extra package of energy. So we have to channelize that surplus energy, which can be done with the participation in NCC. In our school, we have got NCC wing and NSS, which shows them how to go to villages and help the others, help do some programs over there, make them aware about the studies and make them aware about certain problems so they can also participate in NSS programs. Participation of the students in decision making body. As we all are also having a decision making body, the students council in our school, having the head boy and the head girl and the captains, and often whenever we have any event in the school, we call them and we make decisions with them how exactly we will be able to maintain discipline, where should we allow the volunteers to stand, and how we can take help from them. Our students council helps us to perform our activities and to perform our events in much better manner. And next, we should have child-centeredness in teaching. The teaching that we carry out, it should involve more of discussions with the children. They should also participate. They should also debate with us for the various topics. And in that way, they will get to learn. We must give them a free hand to express their whatever talent they have. That talent should be shown, and we must take it in their extracurricular activities in a positive manner. And of course, we should motivate them to have their passion and to make their passion in a positive way and do better in the exams. And the curriculum should be diversified curriculum, not just the same line of teaching. Now the NEP 2020 has given many subjects of choice. So whatever the child wants, whatever he feels he is interested in, he can take up that curriculum. So with this, I would like to end my presentation. Thank you all very much. Thank you, everyone.
It was a very wonderful session. We have covered a lot of area.
Thank you, sir. Next session on 22nd, and maybe on 21st, Alka ma'am will also take. Yes, maybe. She is trying for her level best for that. Okay.
And once again, I will remind, I think, those